Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome back to the predictions and breakdowns. Today we're taking a look at UFC 317, Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira, which is taking place, tomorrow? No, the 28th of June, 2025, starting at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are in Las Vegas, Nevada at the T-Mobile Arena. If you guys do enjoy this, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you have not already. We only have 12 bouts on this card. This is smaller than, I believe, last week's fight night, which is kind of insane. But we have Topuria, Oliveira, and we have Kai France taking on Pantoja for the belt. It's a little bit interesting. Let's start off with the prelims, and then we'll get into the main card. Let's get right into it. Oh, let's make this full screen. What are we doing here? There we go. Looks a little bit better. We're going to start off with the early prelim opener, which has been changed around twice already. It is now Jackson McVeigh versus Christopher Ewart. Both of these guys making their UFC debut. Both of these guys undefeated prospects. Jackson McVeigh coming out of the LFA scene. Only knocked out two shitty fucking fighter. I'm not going to lie. Like Ben Fowler's ass. Mateo Garner is like half of a meatball. Christopher Ewart. I mean, Reese Watkins, okay. I guess it's half decent. Not really. I mean, he was okay in amateur. AJ Chambers, okay. I guess. It's more or less, we're just having two guys come into the UFC due to the fact that Cedric Dumas could not get in front of a judge. He could not get his ankle monitor off, and he genuinely could not, he just couldn't be able to fight. He's going to still have his ankle monitor on by the time the fight takes place. He has to get it off on Monday when the judge has an opening, and he's just not going to be able to fight on Saturday. Womp womp, I guess it sucks to suck. I guess we're going to go with... To be completely honest, I would probably side with Jackson McVeigh. He's a very, very just aggressive guy, but problem is I really wane on the fact that his cardio, I would say, is probably going to take a huge dive into that second and third round. You have Christopher Ewart, who just doesn't really take any bullshit. He's willing to go into absolute brawls with anyone. But you also have Jackson McVeigh, who can mix it up. He has decent submission game. You haven't really seen Ewart on the ground. He hasn't really been forced on the ground yet. You haven't really seen McVeigh use his jab, I guess, as much as he should, seeing as he has 77 inches of reach and he's 6'4", dude's giant. He has a size advantage. I'm going to say McVeigh gets it done inside distance. I don't know about Christopher Ewart. I don't know a whole lot about either of these guys, but I'm going to go with the side of Jackson McVeigh. I think he gets it done. Now, next on the prelims, we have Jonathan Denis versus Alvin Hins. Now, I said I was never going to pick this dude again after the KO or doctor stoppage over Marcin Tybura and over that terrible decision victory over Carl Williams. I think Denis comes out here and starches Alvin. I think this is just one of those situations where you have a guy who's just way higher level. You have a dude who's fighting in the LFA and then gets, heads over to Mecca for a free win against a fucking random white dude, and then he just goes and fights Billy Ray Valdez, who just gets starched in the third round. But this dude's also absolutely terrible. I don't even know how this dude has a career in mixed martial arts, so he's probably making $2 grand a fight, I'm sure. Alvin Hins is going to lose. I don't think he gets... There's no way he beats Jonathan Denis. Denis is so fucking big, dude. He's 6'4", 80 inches of reach. He's going to just jab up this dude. He's going to eventually just find the hook, I think, and put him out. I think the left hand of Denis is just going to be looking for the chin of Hins all night, and Hins is going to move forward because he's going to want that finish. He's, getting tossed into the UFC on short notice, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to go with the side of Denis to just knock him out early, probably under 1.5 rounds. I don't think this is going that distance, and if it does, it's going to be a terrible fight to watch. I like Jonathan Denis to get it done. Definitely not by submission. This guy's got nothing on the ground, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I really think he gets it done probably in the first round, though. More likely than not, he starches him, and he just gets back in that win column. Next on the prelims, this should be a very easy one for everyone to predict. Nico Price versus Jacoby Smith. Now, this should be a retirement fight for Nico Price at this point. They're just giving him fucking whoever. And giving him Jacoby Smith is just fucking... This is just ruthless. Jacoby Smith recently just knocked out in January Preston Parsons with a left hook in the first round. Didn't even make it past a minute and 20 seconds. Parsons stood no chance, and you could see it right away. I thought Parsons was going to be able to grapple a little bit. Maybe he could get to a decision with Jacoby Smith. Maybe wrestle him against the cage for a round or two, slow him down, and see if he can maybe pick him apart when he gets a little bit tired. There was no getting to a second or third round. You could see it like that. You could see it out of Parsons' face. He did not want to be there anymore after the second shot. And Smith was like, okay, I'll put you down and I'll let you leave. And he just walked forward and put him down and out. He knocked out Savoy in the first round, I believe, as well. No, second round with ground and pound, put him down and then knocked him out. Savoy is a really good Canadian prospect as well, and unfortunately could not get it done. Has not fought since, has been on a bit of a layoff since that knockout. I would like to see Jacoby Smith put Price out in the first round. Most likely that is what we will see. I don't think that Smith is going to carry this into the second and third round. Price does not stand a chance. He's been knocked out by Robbie Lawler with those weak-ass hooks. Early, Phil Rowe was able to put him out, and Phil Rowe doesn't really have a whole lot of wins inside the UFC. This is one of his only ones. Nico Price has taken so much time off in between bouts because he gets knocked out often. I'm going to go with Nico Price getting TK out inside the first round by Jacoby Smith. I think Price, at this point, is kind of on the back burner of the UFC. He's kind of falling a little bit too flat. He's not keeping up with everyone. That's kind of the thing. He's not keeping up with everyone and all of the improvements that everyone's making. He's kind of just staying the same, and that's kind of a problem when you're not that good. We're going to go with Jacoby Smith early. He gets it done. I don't need... Well, let me actually check something. Let me check that line. I also need to check something else. It's still 1-0, eh? Jesus. What are they doing here? Teenage dirtbag baby. Minus 275 for Jacoby Smith. Yikes. Yeah, I don't know about that. That's by knockout, but that's a prop. He's minus 1,400 on the line. I don't know about that. We'll see about that, but he gets it done. Next on the prelims, Terrence McKinney versus Vyacheslav Borshev. Now, I'm going to go with Terrence McKinney round 1. If it goes past round 1 or past, 4 minutes, I'm live betting Borshev. Borshev's one of those guys that does get tagged inside of his fights. He's been tagged before. He got choked out by Chase Hooper, and McKinney has pretty good jiu-jitsu. James Liontop was able to survive and was able to crawl back. Tom Nolan couldn't knock him out, which I was a little bit surprised over. He didn't really, throw a whole lot of shots. I think he rocked him a couple times. Mahashante got knocked out by him. Mike Davis couldn't put him out. Mark DeCasey couldn't put him out. Nazim Sadikov couldn't put him out. These are big problems for me. These scream red flags for me. And the problem is, though, Terrence McKinney's so good on the ground. I could see him just ripping a rear naked choke right away against Borshev. Seeing as Chase Hooper kind of exposed his ground game with the Darce choke, he got it in really easily. I'm going to go with... fuck, man. It screams red flags for me. I have to pick Terrence McKinney round 1, though, because he's so wild, and Borshev doesn't have that round 1 potential anymore. It feels like it's kind of weighted off on his career. I'm going to go with Terrence McKinney round 1, but let me tell you, if round 2 starts whatsoever, you live bet the shit out of Borshev, because there's no way McKinney does not get gassed out by Borshev in rounds 2 and 3. He's just too good at the striking, and he's too slick with the Muay Thai. I'm going to go with Borshev maybe late in the fight. But, dude, it's just there's too many fucking problems to see with Borshev on the feet, and he likes taking shots early and then moving on later. You can't take shots from McKinney early. I think he knows that, so that's why it's iffy. But I'm gonna go with the side of him. I don't know why my camera's so. Why is my camera so weird? Huh? I like that better. There we go. We're gonna go on next on the prelims. Vivian Araujo versus Tracy Cortez. Now this screams red flags for me as well. Vivian Araujo out. Reaching Tracy Cortez by 2.5 inches of reach. Vivian Araujo last time around beating an undefeated Brazilian prospect in Karine Silva. That was 7 months ago. Was she undefeated? No, she was not. At least in the UFC, she was undefeated. Tracy Cortez just lost to Rose Namajunas. Rose is kind of on a downfall. She was able to beat up Jasmine Jasovicius on the feet. Didn't get taken down much, but we haven't seen Tracy Cortez much recently. Her inactivity is a big problem for me, and it kind of gives me big problems because you have Tracy Cortez who's been falling out of the rankings slowly but surely. She hasn't really improved. You haven't seen anything of a ground game. You haven't seen anything of a... she's pretty good on the feet. I'm not going to lie. Her boxing's pretty solid, but when it comes to Vivian Araujo, she's also not too bad on the feet, and she can mix it up with the grappling. If she chooses to grapple with Tracy Cortez, she's going to be stuck on the ground in a position where she's not going to be able to get back up. Araujo's so good on the ground, she's not getting up. She might get submitted. That's a problem. That screams red flags for Cortez, especially as a minus 230 favorite. I would probably side on the fact that Vivian Araujo plus 3.5. I think Vivian Araujo can maybe steal a round from Tracy Cortez rounds 2 or 3. I think she can even win the fight. I think this is an underdog pick. Is underrated. I'm going to pick I'm probably going to pick Viviane Araújo. I'm going to slow down on it, though. I'm going to probably... It's closer to side with Tracy Cortez. Tracy Cortez, if she's genuinely back, and she doesn't look as shit as she did before against Rose, and she's actually got the ring rust off, her boxing's very slick. She's TKO'd many, many girls, okay? Oh, my goodness. She only has one? The Grand Pan... Oh, okay, sorry. Maybe TKO not the right word. She's dropped many girls, if I'm not mistaken. She knocked them out in yeah, that makes sense, in her amateur. But, of course I yawn, bro. But her boxing is really slick. I think I like Viviane Araújo a little bit more. I'm gonna pick Viviane Araújo this week. I think it's just a little bit too good to be true with the money line. I'm not gonna lie. Plus 185, give me it all day. We're gonna move on next on the prelims. Now this is a highlighted prelim for me. Look forward to this one. It may turn into a boring fest because the respect on both sides is going to be so large. But we have the next prelim, which is Haider Emil, the Hurricane, versus Jose Delgado, who is making his second UFC appearance after knocking out Conor Matthews in the first round 4 months ago in the Apex. He's insane, dude. He knocked out Ernie Juarez in the second round. I thought he should have got him a little bit earlier. I think he had him really hurt. He just kind of left him. Haider Emil is a problem. He genuinely is. He's a huge problem, but he did get clipped against Young Lee. He kind of just stormed the gates at that point, and they were just throwing. He was the last one to get hit, so he wasn't rocked, and then Lee gets dropped, whatever. William Gomez, split decision. You kind of have to give it to Haider Emil, I guess, but it's a close fight, and that gives me worried because it's a good striker that gives him a problem, right? That's a good kickboxer who gives him problems. Jose Delgado is a fucking problem. This guy's Muay Thai is a fucking issue. Genuinely an issue. And unfortunately, he does not have a decision victory yet. I do believe this will probably go over 1.5 rounds. I do believe this will probably go distance. But Jose Delgado will be giving Haider Emil some major problems. He outranges him. He's out of the MMA lab. He just has a lot of good opponents out of there. There's a lot of people running in and out of that gym. Jose Delgado being almost, 8 years younger. I'm going to side with the fact that Jose Delgado is just better everywhere, it seems like. Haider Emil is a little bit more on the blitzy side, and Jose Delgado is a little bit more calculated. He likes to find his shots. He likes to still force the pressure without having to counter-strike off the back foot, and that's something that's super impressive inside the UFC, to be completely honest, because you have most guys like Phil Rowe or, other tall strikers who will sit back and they'll wait for guys to make mistakes. You don't have that because as guys start to add up punches with jabs and you're not countering the jabs, those add up very quickly and you start to lose the rounds very quick. They get pulled away from you and you need a big shot. You're not going to get the big shot because now the guy's just going to keep moving and keep his hands up. You got to win the rounds. Jose Delgado forces to win rounds even though he's getting knockouts and stuff. He's not just looking for the finishes. He's looking to win the rounds. That's impressive. That's why I'm picking him. We're going Jose Delgado to win by decision or knockout against Haider Emil. Now we're going to move on next on the prelims. Jack Hermansson. This is the featured prelim of the evening, I guess. They're looking for a knockout on either side, I presume, because it is a featured prelim. They usually look for that right before the main card. Jack Hermansson, the Joker, versus Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez. We're going with Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez. Jack's been chinned too many times in his career for me to trust his chin against RoboCop. RoboCop is a fucking massive middleweight. This dude should definitely be a light heavyweight. He is 6'3", 75 inches of reach with traps that are double my fucking back size. And that is a fucking problem. This dude is going to be throwing everything into Jack Hermansson, and Hermansson's the guy that just doesn't deal well with super, sophisticated pressure. He dealt with Edmund Shabazian when Shabazian was on his bit of a roll with his knockouts. He dealt with Chris Curtis, who's a bit of a counterboxer. He dealt with Joe Pyfer, who unfortunately ran out of steam inside the third round and just kind of fell apart, which is a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. You also have the knockout loss to Jared Cannonier, though, and the Thiago Santos knockout. When he gets blitzed in the right situation, and RoboCop's a guy who doesn't just blitz, he looks for it. When he gets blitzed in the right situation against the cage, he falls apart because he doesn't know how to counter it properly because he's getting hurt too bad. I like Jack Hermansson to go out. I think he's getting knocked out by RoboCop, but I would probably say the line of RoboCop Rodriguez is a little bit safer. You don't have to stress a knockout. You don't have to worry about the fact that RoboCop sometimes fades off inside that late second and third round where he just chooses to go to a decision now and he's just looking for some nice jabs and stuff. I still lean over the fact that Robocop is so much bigger. He's coming off of a loss against a huge contender in Jared Cannonier, who's, 40 years of age. It's a bit of a bad loss on the back burner, but he is fighting Jack Hermansson's a little bit older, a little bit on the downstretch. He did beat Joe Pyfer, but that was a year and a half ago. I think the ring rust is going to be real, especially in a sold-out crowd at the T-Mobile Arena. Give me Robocop Rodriguez to win the fight against Jack Hermansson and get that top 15 spot if that's what he's looking for. Now, we're going to move on to the main card of the evening. It does start off with something that I'm a little bit questionable about. There we go. If I can get the English out, that would be better. It starts off with Peyton Talbot against Felipe Jungle Boy Lima. Now, everyone is picking the side of Lima. Do not be surprised if Lima loses this fight. That's genuine. I'm not going to lie to you. Do not be surprised. The odds are closer for a reason. Hayoni Barcelos is a highly decorated grappler. He is highly known to be very, very good on the feet. He is highly known to take punishment very well. He is known to wade through the fire and still end up winning 2 rounds no matter what. Peyton Talbot learned early. And now he's taking on a contender in Felipe Lima, who has just choked out Muhammad Naimov, got a win over Miles Johnson. Now everyone's jerking their fucking tits and losing their mind. Reminder, he was an Octagon champion against Jonas Magard, who's absolutely fucking terrible. Lost to Igor Severino. Severino was that guy who bit fuckface there to get into the UFC. Igor was winning that. Andre Lima, that's who it was. Andre was winning that fight, mind you. Not gonna lie, he was literally winning that fight. Jack Cartwright. Isn't that guy on Contender Series 2? Yeah, Jose Johnson. That's insane. I do remember that. Anyway. Peyton Talbot is really, really solid in the grappling in general. His takedown defense is solid. He is more of a brawler than he is anything. Peyton did look a little bit babyish in the second and third round when it came to takedowns against Hayoni Barcelos. I think he was just getting a little bit frustrated. I think he was kind of losing his head. I think he was broken mentally, to be completely honest, instead of that first round. He just couldn't get up. Now you have Felipe Lima, who's good pretty much everywhere. LFA champion, I'm pretty sure, right? Or Fight Club, that's what it was. Fight Club Rush champion. Octagon champion. Chokes out Naimov in the third round. Looks like he kind of needs it. Beats Miles Johns, who's, it's Miles Johns. It's pretty obvious that he's going to be able to beat him. Miles Johns just isn't on that high level right now. He's trying to fight Gian Matsumoto coming up. I guess that is a win that he could get, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to go with the side. Oh, my God. This is hard, eh? Now that I think about it, this is actually a lot harder than it makes it out to be. I'm going to go with the side of Peyton Talbot. I genuinely think as long as there's no grappling involved, as long as he can wait off the fact that Felipe Lima has some pretty solid grappling and he's pretty good with the back control. Actually, you know what? Oh, my God, guys. Can I skip this fight? What are we going up? We're going down? Felipe Lima's going down in weight? Oh, my fucking God, dude. This is a problem. Guys, this is a genuine problem. Dude, he's a problem already. He might be too drained, no? 146. He was already drained at 145. What the fuck are we doing here? Peyton Talbot might knock this dude out early. But he's so used to getting hit by those big 45ers. Holy shit. We're going to go with the side of Felipe Lima. I think this is a little bit too sketchy to call. I'm not going to lie. I would probably stay away from this fight. Maybe Peyton Talbot by knockout or Felipe Lima by decision. I don't know. This is a tough fight to call, bro. Felipe Lima moving down in weight is fucking scary. I didn't even notice that till now. 2 inches of reach on Peyton Talbot's side, and he's a fucking powerhouse. Peyton Talbot's a genuine powerhouse. This dude cracks. That's insane. Yeah, I would definitely stay away from that dude. That's fucking scary. Felipe Lima can definitely get it done. He's a little bit better everywhere. I kind of felt like Peyton Talbot was going to be cracking him. At 135, man, Felipe Lima is so used to getting hit with those big shots. I'm going to go with the side of the fact that Lima's just going to walk forward. I don't think he's going to give a shit. Next on the main card, Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. Now, this is something a little bit more interesting. Beneil Dariush is super fucking good on the ground. Like, super fucking good on the ground. Like, insanely good on the ground. I think we're going to go with the side of Beneil Dariush. Even though he's been knocked out twice in a row, Renato Moicano is not a guy who just knocks dudes out. He's a grappler. He wants to take you down, and Renato Moicano in this situation is not going to be able to take down Beneil Dariush. It's not going to happen. Beneil Dariush's BJJ and wrestling is so he's won worlds many times at the lower belts. He's decorated. Renato Moicano is good at jiu-jitsu, but not like this. This is kind of a different level of fight. I believe Beneil Dariush will be able to win by submission or KO against Renato Moicano. This is a very overlooked fight. This is a very overlooked situation for Beneil Dariush, where he does take punishment well. It's just most guys crack on him with the perfect shot. Arman Tsarukyan rocked him pretty good early. Charles Oliveira rocked him really good on the ground and put him out. And now you have a situation where Renato Moicano is a bit pillow-fisted. He looks for the submission and the grappling more than he does look for the knockout. And he's going to be trying to probably charge up Beneil Dariush. He's going to get taken down. He's going to get in a bad position, and he's probably going to get submitted. He does have good, submission defense, but I think Beneil Dariush can figure out. I think the line at plus 120 is a little bit too given. I think it's a perfect comeback spot for Beneil Dariush, and I think Renato Moicano just falls short on this one. I think this is similar to the Islam Makhachev situation where the darts was in play. He also had a Kimura if he really wanted it. There was a lot of positions that he could have gotten him in, and that gives me a lot of worry when it comes down to Beneil Dariush's grappling. I think it's just too highly sophisticated for Renato Moicano. I think he gets in a bad position, and I think he gets put out with ease, to be honest. I think Beneil Dariush gets it done in 2 rounds. Let's see what goes on. I take him as an underdog. Let the dogs bark tonight. Next on the main card, we have Brandon Royval versus, Raw Dog. I forgot about that name. Joshua the Fearless Van. We're going to go with Joshua Van. Even though he fought 2 weeks ago against Bruno Silva barely tagged him. Joshua Van beat the shit out of him. His boxing is so insane. His takedown defense is really good. Brandon Royval has been clipped many a times in fights. Kai Kara France clipped him in the first round of their fight in the first minute. Tatsuo Taira clipped him. Tried to take him down, couldn't get it done, got gassed out. Brandon Moreno's tagged him before. Pantoja was able to clip him a couple times. Mateus Nicolau didn't do shit, got knocked out. Matt Schnell, again, didn't do shit. I think he got tagged a couple times. Brandon Moreno was able to, put him out with a shoulder injury and ground and pound afterwards. He hasn't been knocked out before, except for the TKO. But Joshua Van, I think, can take this to a decision. I think he gets it done. I think he's just on a bit of a roll. I think the technicality of Joshua Van's boxing is so significant. He takes shots so well that Brandon Royval is going to be a little bit shocked. I think when Brandon Royval loads up on shots and Joshua Van cracks him to the body and then hits him to the head and he gets gassed and he gets winded, I don't know if Brandon Royval is going to be able to come back from that. I think Joshua Van selects shots so well and rolls with punches so well that most guys couldn't even stand with him for longer than 5 minutes realistically in real life. I don't think there's a whole lot of situations where Joshua Van loses a fight. There's the Charles Johnson knockout, that was good. Johnson was screamed at by his corner that they needed a knockout in the round 3. He ran at him, knocked him out. Good for you. It gives me worry for Royval because he's so game and he's going to be standing in Joshua's face and not really giving a shit. You have a kid who's 9 years younger than you. He's going to be faster. He's going to be slicker and he's going to be more powerful. Watch the fuck out, Brandon. I think Joshua Van gets it done as an underdog. Once again, I want the dogs to bark. And I think Royval's not going to be able to get the takedown he's going to look for, I'm sure. And I think he gets it done. Now, next, for the co-main event of the evening, the UFC Flyweight Championship of the world, Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. I'm going with Pantoja to get it done against Kai Kara France. His grappling is in question. His striking is quite good, but he has had so many losses to He lost to Amir Albazi. That was a robbery, in my opinion. He lost to Brandon Moreno due to knockout. He did clip Moreno some good shots, but Moreno was just a little bit slicker on the striking. Was able to eat him with a liver kick, a left kick to the body, put him down. Brandon Royval got him in a guillotine, put him out. Brandon Moreno, once again, beat him a long time ago by decision, just with his striking and the mix-up of grappling. Now, I think the grappling for Pantoja is pretty huge here. I think a submission victory is not far off the scale for Alexandre Pantoja. I think he retains his belt. I think he gets it done. I think there's a lot of questions that need to be answered with this fight. I think if he's able to beat Kai Kara France in this situation, this would be the easiest clean out of a division I've seen yet, except for the close split decision with Brandon Moreno. I did think Brandon Moreno won that fight against Pantoja. It is what it is. I think I did do a video on that a long time ago. If you guys want to go check it out, it is pretty funny. I'm not going to lie. Had some good edits in it. But I like Pantoja. It's just, there's two too much questions about Kai Kara Francis grappling, and when he gets in stressful situations, the guy either gets a big shot or he gets out, and that's kind of what happened with Steve Erceg. He got cracked pretty good, and then he just kind of said fuck it and ran with it. I'm going to go with Pantoja to just get a submission victory. I think he gets it done inside distance. There's not really a whole lot of ways I see Kai Kara France winning this. This is going to be a 5-round fight, obviously, for the championship. And I think France in 5 rounds is just terrible. I think 3rd and 4th and 5th is going to be the worst fucking hell for him. He will just be getting mauled on the ground until Pantoja finds a submission victory. Kai Kara France is going to need a knockout in the first 2 rounds, otherwise he's going to lose. That's why I'm picking Pantoja. There's just too much ease. And now we're going to pick the easiest fight on the card. I'm not going to lie. This is easy. I will not be surprised if Oliveira pulls it off with a submission. But I will be very surprised if Topuria does not knock this dude the fuck out. This is the the lightweight championship of the world. Newcomer from featherweight division and newly vacant featherweight division belt. Ilia El Matador Topuria taking on Charles do Bronx Oliveira for the lightweight belt after Islam Makhachev vacates it to move on to the welterweight division to take on JDM. Or possibly someone else. We'll see. We're going to go with the side of Ilia Topuria by knockout. I will be very shocked if he does knock out Charles do Bronx early. Topuria has a different level of boxing. He moves in like a Mike Tyson style almost. He has his hands very high. And he loves to swivel, and he loves to look for those big shots against those guys who just get forced up against the cage. Charles is a guy who gets forced up against the cage. Charles is a guy who gets tagged. Charles is the guy who gets tagged and looks for takedowns. Ilia Topuria is a guy who tags guys and then is very, very cautious with how it's going. And he looks for the knockout big time. I'm going to say the fact that if Charles Oliveira does not grab the leg as soon as he gets rocked, he will be getting put out very quickly. I'm going to go with the side of Ilia Topuria to win under 1.5 rounds by knockout. I think Topuria gets it done easily. I do not think it's going to be a hard fight. I think do Bronx is one of my favorite fighters too, and I'm just so pissed off that Topuria has taken out every fucking legend in my life. I'm ready for him to take out another one, to be honest. I'm just accepting it in my fucking heart that there's nothing Oliveira can do, and that I'm going to be upset no matter what on Saturday, and I'm just going to bet the side of Topuria so that I'm not fucking mad at myself. So that if Oliveira wins, I'm jumping up and down, super excited. And if Topuria wins, I don't give a fuck because I won money. Okay? Charles Oliveira, unfortunately, is going to get knocked out, okay? I fucking hate it. I know you hate it. I know we all hate it. I don't want Oliveira to get knocked out. It will happen. Topuria has next level boxing. His brother has almost the exact same shit. It is really scary to see. And seeing as the fact that he's 5 inches down on the reach, he will be running at Oliveira to try and find whatever he can. And that's kind of all I got for the pick. There isn't a whole lot more to talk about. I'm scared for Oliveira, especially he's number 2 at lightweight, and I'm fucking scared. Ilia did not take that. He took Jai Herbert head kick really well, but he does take punishment. We'll see if Oliveira can maybe put him to sleep. That's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you did enjoy the predictions and breakdowns. I will see you guys all later for the betting talk, episode 27, I think, where we will run through the 4 best bets, the props, and the parlays for the evening. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you have not already. I'll talk to you guys all later. Peace.